And welcome back to More Approved. I'm James. Today we're going to install lighting fixtures. There's a bottle. It's in the back. And welcome back to More Approved. I'm James. Today we're going to be installing some lighting fixtures. First and foremost, most important, this is very dangerous. You can hurt yourself severely or possibly even die from electrocution if you do this improperly. Also, you can burn down your house and lose all of your stuff. And if the insurance company suspects that you installed the lighting fixture that caused it, they may not replace your home and you're living in a cardboard box. So having said that, just be aware, this is for demonstration purposes only. It only equates to the US power grid, and if somebody who was not qualified installed the electrical that you are about to touch and they did it improperly, you may still burn everything down even though you think you've done it properly. Keep that in mind, bear that in mind, and remember, always consult a certified licensed professional before attempting anything like this at home.
We can install a clapper in a future episode, maybe.
No, we're not installing a clapper. If you can't figure out how to install a clapper, do not install lighting fixtures. So the tools that you're going to need for this installation are actually pretty basic. The most important one is you want a non-contact voltage tester. This is to make sure when you flip your breaker to the off position, important, do the breaker, not a light switch, because if somebody hooked up the light switch improperly, you are going to get zapped. So you need to make sure that you're flipping the breaker. And we will go out into the garage and flip that breaker off before we get started. As you can see, it's already off, so we'll show you that. So you want to find your breaker. This says kitchen ceiling. Turn that one off. And after you do that, you still want to use your voltage sensor just to make sure it's on the same breaker so you don't get electrocuted. There's a link down below to this. It does come with the batteries, everything you need. You get close to any sort of power, this thing is going to go beep, 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 beep to let you know that it is hot and do not touch it. In the unlikely scenario that you're changing out multiple lighting fixtures in the same room, and one of the fixtures is on a different breaker from the other one, and you grab a hold of it, that may be all she wrote. So definitely pick one of these bad boys up. The other things that you're gonna need are just a couple of just regular screwdrivers. You're gonna need a flathead screwdriver, and you're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver. And beyond that, you're gonna need a ladder or step stool or something to get up into the air, and just be careful and don't fall off and kill yourself. Let's get these open and see what we're working with. Light bulbs. We're gonna open these pendant lights up first, which are gonna go above our little bar counter thing, breakfast bar, whatever you wanna call it. And this is gonna be pretty basic. You have a cage, you have a wire, light bulb goes in the wire, this gets put into the ceiling, and there should be some wires in here that you're gonna have to connect. Actually, I can say definitively, there will be wires in here. There shouldn't be, whatever. Anyways. So we'll get this open, and there's a couple of screws that we have to take out. I'm going to cheat. This is going to be held onto the ceiling from 2 screws. Don't want to lose those, so keep track of them. This is going to be your mounting plate, and this is actually your earth ground wire. These are the 2 wires that you're going to be connecting to the wires that are up in the fixture itself. So black is hot, white is not, and your bare ground. Make sure that if something touches where it should not, it should theoretically trip your circuit breaker so your house doesn't burn down. There are some mounting screws. And remember, if you're happy or not happy, you need one of these cards to let people know. Light bulbs, we probably don't need to open those yet. All right, this one has some wire nuts in it. So you may need wire nuts for the other one, but I guarantee you there's wire nuts on the wires that are up in there. If not, you're gonna need wire nuts. This one has a similar mounting plate. It does go into the fixture a little bit differently. This is going to be held into place by a couple little thumb screws. And you have your hot wire, your neutral, and your earth ground is also in there, but it's just wrapped around a couple of the other wires for shipping, I guess. That's your earth ground. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way and open up the ceiling, get started. Just pop this off the ceiling and pop this off the ceiling. So this is what it looks like after you pull off that cover. This little plastic bracket needs to come off. So you just loosen it up and this should come out. Sometimes you're gonna have to actually take the screw all the way out to get it out, but with this one you didn't have to. At this point, you want to fire up your electrical sensor. Make sure that this does not beep and does not have any power going to it. So we're good. And if it is beeping, then you know it's hot. And if it is flashing, then you know there's a hot wire in there. But it's not, so we're fine. All right. These are the wires on the inside. We've already checked and ensured that the breaker that we flipped was proper with that voltage sensor. And this is going to be your hot, it's black. This is going to be your white, that's not hot. And then this is going to be the earth ground that you're putting to the fixture itself. So you want to put your wire through the center of this plate, and then we're going to have to take out these screws from the ceiling and then put the screws back in through the All right, so that's all tightened up. Now all we have to do is connect our wires and we're pretty much done. This is going to be as simple as connecting the white lead to the white lead, the black lead to the black lead. This bare wire will be connected to that bare wire. To give mine a little twist to get it started, wrench that down pretty tight until the wires start twisting. And then you want to give it a pull to make sure nothing comes loose, because that would be a bad connection and that's what causes fire. Black lead. All right, and now all we have to do is our two bare wires. Make sure it's a positive connection. All we have to do is feed this back up in through the center. And as you can see, these are all firm connections. So let's go ahead and feed that up. And feed the rest of this up. Then we just have to line up the set screws on the sides, which you'll see right there. And that one's finished. And who knows if this cable is ever going to straighten out, but hopefully it will. So we'll go ahead and put on the cage. Just basically take that off, set your cage into place. Tighten that into position. So we're going to replace an existing fixture. This is pretty easy. Basically, all you do is unscrew this center. Depends on your light, but you're going to want to take everything down. There's going to be a couple of screws that you have to take out, and then it's going to be ready to attach the new fixture. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way and get the new one up. Oop. Good thing we don't need those anymore. For this system, we'll go ahead and take these bulbs out and set those aside. There's a couple little screws, so we're just going to loosen that one, and then we're going to loosen that one, and then this is going to turn and then drop down. And then we're going to go ahead and loosen the other one, and then this should just turn and then drop down. So we're going to use our sensor, and we're just going to verify that there's no power. All right, and we're good to go. We can start taking these wire nuts off. And then we'll also be sure that we save these wire nuts. We can use these ones again. And we're going to go ahead and take these two mounting screws out. We don't need these ones anymore. We have a new bracket to put in place. We have our new bracket. Go ahead and feed the wires through the center. Everything lines up. We'll go ahead and put the screws into place. You're gonna have to hold this in the air with one hand and basically get these connections started. It would be good if you have two people to help you out. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with the ground wire. Nice firm connection. Then you're gonna take your second wire. Make sure you have a nice firm connection. Give it a little tug. Do our third wire. Nice firm connections on all three. We'll go ahead and feed this back up through this opening. Have to line up. These set screws. All right, and she's set. Now to flip the breaker, test it out. So that about wraps it up for more approved. As you can see, installing light fixtures is actually fairly simple, fairly easy. Consult a professional before undertaking anything like this. If you do it yourself, be confident in what you're doing. If you're not confident in what you're doing, you probably shouldn't do it anyways. I've got links in the description down below for everything that I use today. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them. If you guys come across something that I didn't show in the video, I probably don't have the answers for you. There's probably some other YouTube videos out there, or you could do some Google searching, or just consult a qualified electrician before undertaking any additional projects. Thanks again for watching. I'm James. Till next time, see you then.